No, I'm gonna give you the air horn, but not because there's anything to celebrate. I'm giving you the air horn just because I'm trying to make myself feel better. That's all I got today. Things being thrown at us, it doesn't make any sense. We got the best promotion conceivable. The best promotion conceivable for the Dana White Power Slap League. Even though it is my intellectual property, technically. The best conceivable promo that they could have possibly given us. And they're going to take it away from us. Now, I'll tell you right now, Dana White. I'll tell you right now, if someone wants to send this to you, Dana White, I'll tell you where you could take the power slap, where they're going to leave you alone and you could do whatever you want. I mean, I guess you're already thinking ahead. You could do whatever you want on Rumble. You could do whatever you want. Look at Dana he don't got that dome for no reason. All right. Dana's a genius. Dana's ahead of the curve. He's ahead of the game. He's like, where can I run to? What could I do if I'm be acting up and stuff like that, but I don't want to get canceled? What platform can I possibly go to? Oh, this fool's playing chess. We were over here pushing checkers like idiots. This fool's over here playing chess. I'm over here getting mad because I'm on Rumble. I'm over here trending with Andrew Tate and Tucker Carlson thinking I'm making moves. This fool swoops in the next day. Big old screen. Look at me over here in this tiny window. Look at me in that tiny window. This fool takes over with that smug little grin on his face. He knew what he was doing all along. He had that insurance policy. Joshua Sullivan, thank you for joining the membership. Hey, I've been telling you guys wrong. Thank you, Joshua Sullivan. I've been telling you guys wrong. Every time someone's joined the membership, I've been saying, hey, go over to the community tab and look, because back in the day, that's where membership stuff would be. And those of you who are members would see things that other people wouldn't see on the community tab. Now they specifically made something called the membership tab. So if you're a member, go over to the members tab. I just posted a new video today, some behind the scenes bloopers of my last video, some fails and stuff like that. I got the Discord link in there. I got other stuff in there. Don't forget to scope it out. Dana White, Bazinga'd his wife on national internet for all to see. And somebody made the great point in a comment section. A lot of the time when I see a good comment and I want to remember, I'll screenshot it, but I didn't screenshot this one. I should have. Somebody made the point. He's like, whoever recorded it, whoever that fool was that recorded this, what a dummy selling this to TMZ. You know how much more Dana White would have paid for that? And I was like, dang, that's right. He would have got the frittatas in on the thing because it makes them look bad too. He would have got Mickey Mouse dishing out Benjamins. It would have been all settled from there. But I think it has to be something like someone with a vendetta. You know, maybe Dana broke some ring card girl's heart or something like that. I don't know. I'm just saying what I've been hearing. This is all allegedly. This is all allegations. This is all allegations. And I think it was it MMA Junkie? Somebody tore up Dana White the other day in an article, and I was like, dang it, they're not gonna get into the press conferences anymore. Simon Samano. Do you guys know who that is? I never heard that name before. Simon Samano. Hey, Ray, had girl I liked and loved that we should just be friends. Oh, snap. Are you Spider-Man? One of the hardest things to do. She was crying, but it had to be done. Oh, man. Had to tell a girl I liked and loved. Hey, look, I know what it's like to like someone. I know what it's like to love someone, but you liked her and you loved her. That's different. That's different. You must be Spider-Man, homie. That we should just be friends. One of the hardest things I had to do. Dang, I'm not trying to get in your business or anything like that, but if you liked her and loved her, like what? Are you like a truck driver or what? Like you can't stay in one place at one time? Oh, man. You got me feeling now over here. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. Ooh, I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you. I can't lie. I'm gonna get blocked now. Understand me, won't I? Dang, that's dirty. That's dirty. Hey, these heartbreaks, they shape us, they mold us, they make us who we are. So, hopefully, I mean, it's hard to even conceive right now, I know, because when it's hard, but like maybe it's like a blessing in disguise, like I don't know what the situation is, but I mean, hey, bro, let me tell you, back in the day, I thought I was like, I'm just saying, like we dodged some bullets in the chats, haven't we? We dodged some bullets, huh? We dodged some bullets. Later, you kind of, I'm not trying to disrespect, I don't know your situation right now, but like, you kind of like cross paths later. You're like, hey, I made the right choice. But look, much love to you. Much love to you. And to the lady, I hope that, things are amicable and that you're able to mend that heart, I hope everything's all right. I hope you stay the course, keep your head up. Play some PS4. I mean, that's what we're all playing right now, right? If you're playing PS5, get out of the chat. I'm jealous. We ain't playing PS5 till like 2027, all right? When the PS6 comes out and it goes to like $85. Raul Garcia, I'm trying to hear that story from Ray. Drop that T. I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling right now. Yeah, but just look, I already see some people getting it twisted in the chat. Look, there's nothing wrong with feeling, There's nothing wrong with feeling. You got to feel for that moment. You got to feel for that season. Then you come out on the other side, the metamorphosis and everything like that. You got to let it take its course, It's natural. I hope you're feeling better. It's not easy. I know that. Come on, are you bored? Then getting slapped by karma. The universe just told him, no. The fighter's laughing privately. Karma is it's gonna mess some people up, man. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen news that I haven't, but from my perspective, the fighters have been quiet. It's like that silence is golden, though. On the inside, they're like, ah. Oh man, like no one's coming out. Like, that's my guy. Like, no way, never. Like supporting him, like when Joe Rogan was dropping M-bombs and stuff like that, people were coming to his aid, and like Adesanya, like nobody's saying, except for Kevin Iole. Nobody's saying anything like that. Omar Quinones, member for 12 months. Hey Omar, I just put out a new blooper video in case you didn't see it. So look, Simon Samano from MMA Junkie, trying to get their press credentials revoked. Everybody's doing it, but they're quoting them. You don't bounce back from putting your hands on a woman. That's when Ann slapped. Look at it. It's so funny the way they worded it without even seeing what they wrote. They wrote, I mean, follow along with me, all right? That's when Ann slapped her husband. Period. And at that moment, White made a cowardly choice. I'm just gonna let that set right there. I mean, you do your own thing with that statement, all right? I'm not gonna hold your hand. I'm not gonna walk you through this. I mean, as far as I'm confirmed, this is one of those things like, you know, let things take their course. You know, only the strong survive. Like, let me just. That's when Anne slapped her husband. And at that moment, White made a cowardly choice. Okay. And they keep quoting it like in between every paragraph. They're just trying to emphasize. They keep putting in italicization. You don't bounce back from putting your hands on a woman. White slapped her in the face, slapped her a second time, and then pushed her to the ground like she was some punk off the streets. And not the mother of his 3 children. I mean, look, I'm not a journalist, all right? Sometimes people come in here talking about how they feel like I'm a little bit biased or I wasn't fair. I'm not supposed to be. I don't care. I'm not Ariel Hawani. But Simon Samano, you're a journalist, fool. You're actually a reporter. You work for MS. That's like a news anchor coming on TV. Well, that's what they do now. You're not supposed to give your personal opinion and be slanted, you know? I guess that's just how media is today. What am I thinking? That's just how it is. You're supposed to try to be, at least pretend that you're objective. Who cares? Do you want to be a fighter? Hey, for real, that was my favorite part of the video. That was my favorite part of the video. And then they put it again. You don't bounce back from putting your hands on a woman. And then they're just giving all the quotes that Dana White and his lady gave. How could anyone take their statements other than with a grain of salt? It was obviously intended to protect Dana White by downplaying it. It was out of character. Nothing like this has ever happened before. If you say so. I mean, man, I don't know who this person is, but they're going in. The UFC regularly remains silent every time one of its fighters commits an act of violence. Saying nothing now is right on brand. Seriously, will White face any consequences? And look, they wrote this. They wrote this on the 4th. They wrote this yesterday and released this for the world to see. This is what Simon Samano put. Seriously, will White face any consequences? Hey, TBS, maybe don't proceed with televising White's Power Slap League next week. I mean, this is the epitome right here of cancel culture. I don't know if we got any cancel culture vultures in the chat right now. I don't know. I would assume most people who take any seconds out of their day to watch my videos probably ain't cancel culture vultures. That's what I'm going to assume. They're probably watching Morning Combat right now. But I mean, look, let me say this right now. We could talk about how it's ridiculous that people want equality, but then they don't want it when it's not convenient for them, and the double standard, and how you could flat out disrespect your husband, but then he does it and it's not cool, or it's only cool because she's not as strong, or whatever. But let me say this, because I haven't said this. Okay, do I think the whole thing is ridiculous and there's a double standard and people aren't logically consistent and they just pick and choose what they want their truth to be? Yeah, that's stupid. However, if I was Dana White, and I think most of us could say this because I see a lot of people in the chat and people voted. I put up a poll and it wasn't as lopsided. I mean, it wasn't at all. I thought it was going to be lopsided, to be honest with you, because of the comments that I've been seeing everywhere. But I put up the poll. I said, cast your anonymous vote. Did Dana act in self-defense? 53% of people said yes, 47 said no. So however you want to look at it, the majority said, yeah, he did the right thing. He's all good. He's justified. And I know a lot of people in the comments are going hard and like, yeah, you want the rights, then you're going to get the right. Or you want rights, you're going to get lefts, all that kind of stuff. However, I will say this. If I was Dana White in that situation, I wouldn't have done that. We could argue for the side of how it's ridiculous because of what the culture is demanding, and then they drop out of that argument the second it gets uncomfortable for them. And it's inconsistent and it's illogical and all that. But at the same time, not do what he did. You know, you could do both. So I will say that. I will say, you know, two wrongs don't make a right, you know? I mean, have any of you ever been in a situation with your spouse where maybe they said something toward you and in anger or did something toward you, and you know, sometimes you react, sometimes you say something back, you clap back, you respond, and other times you're like, nah, whatever, I'm gonna be the bigger person right now. You don't always have to try to like take your stand, you know, you don't always have to die on the TBS hill, you know? David Zimmerman, Dana White was doing an impersonation of Mr. Queermo from that South Park episode. I've never seen that. I don't know what that is. But I believe you. And I hope everyone that knows what that is thinks it's funny. It's not cancel culture. He's just being held accountable. See, people have been brainwashed, though. I mean, who's to decide what's being held accountable? Now, some people that have been brainwashed by today's culture, before I'm even done with my sentence, will say, yes. But if you have some form of indiscretion, if you make a mistake, does that mean that you should absolutely 100% lose every single thing that you've built over so many years of your life, just like that? And some people are foaming at the mouth saying, yes, you should. You have too much. Break it down and divide it all with us. We all want what you have, even though we didn't work anywhere near as hard. I think that in some form or fashion, both of them should be held accountable. Again, I don't know if I've said this clearly. What Dana White's wife did was wrong. But I'll also say, I believe what Dana did was wrong. And some of you might think I'm going back on some things that I implied earlier. But again, even though, because see, what I think Dana White did is he really showed a loophole in a lot of people's thinking, because they proved that they can't be consistent with what they preach. That's what this proved. So I love to see that, and I love to poke holes in it and be like, well, wait a minute. Why are you mad that Dana slapped his wife? Are you assuming? We talked about this the other day. People are getting mad because Dana White hit a woman. Who said Dana White's wife was a woman? How do we know she's a woman? What's a woman? How do we know Dana White's not a woman? Bunch of bigots being mad at Dana White, saying that he slaps women. We don't even know she's a woman. Bunch of hatred and intolerance. I can't stand it, frankly. Makes me sick. I thought we were living in a more tolerant society. About to lose my lunch right now. Jeff Greenhut, a black man was nominated to be the first Speaker of the House, but because he's perceived as a conservative Uncle Tom, the liberal cancel culture vultures aren't acknowledging his accomplishments. Look, I really don't follow politics. I hate politics. I think they're stupid. Somehow I've been able to live my entire life staying out of it. Imagine that. Some people can't fathom such a thing. It is possible. But I always hear the term alt-right. I always hear that. I always hear people crying and talking about alt-right, alt-right. I always hear that. And I have an idea of what I think they mean by that. And I've wondered from time to time, what's the version of that for the left? There's alt-right and blank left. What's the blank? What's the term for left? Because I wonder if anyone's willing to, like, okay, acknowledge maybe there is a blank right and maybe there is a blank left, and maybe they're both crazy. You know? I mean, let's say there's people in the chat who identify with the right. Aren't you willing to say, yeah, maybe there's some people who claim right that are pretty crazy? And those on the left, aren't you reasonable enough to say that, yeah, there's probably some of us that identify as this and they're kind of crazy? But I'm just saying, from what I see, it seems like that's only reserved for one side for whatever reason. It seems a little bit lopsided. It seems like it's always going in one direction. I mean, so much so that this dude's not getting, like you're saying, Jeff Greenhut. So much so that this dude's not getting. I mean, just like people will say they believe in God, you know? And there's some lunatics who say they believe in God. Like that dude from Waco. David Koresh. Jim Jones. David Koresh. Yeah, the Wakes dude. People will do that. They'll talk about God. David Koresh, Jim Jones, Joel Osteen, but they're wackos, you know? And then people are like, they take everyone and put them in that camp. Well, you all must be wacko. And that's the same thing people do with this side of the politics and what they do with that side of the politics. Like, there's no way that you could be possible with this dude for accomplishing whatever he's done. I'm only going off on that because I'm thinking about what someone just said about Dana White. Do you really think that because of this back and forth that he had with his wife, that he should lose every single? Because I mentioned the TBS thing, how this reporter saying that he should lose his show on TBS, and someone in the chat was like, well, yeah, he should be held accountable. Does that mean losing his show on TBS and possibly getting fired from the UFC? Is that the equivalent of being held accountable? Years and years and years and years of work and all the good that has been done for one moment, one drunken moment. I'm not excusing it. Maybe don't go out drinking anymore. They ended the report by saying, there you go. If Dana White isn't severely punished for slapping his wife, what are we even doing? J5, smash the like button. Mexican judo is perfect for DV issues. Wait, what's DV? Should I know this? Woke left, that's the term. So it's far right and woke left. Is that what it is? That's the even? Charles Barkley, I was trying not to say that. Left equals communism. I mean, at that point, I feel like that used to be fighting words, right? At this point, aren't they like, yeah. I mean, it's funny. Like when I was like a little kid, that was like fighting words. And I was like, now you're getting it. Like I said, I don't pay attention to politics. I don't really know what I'm talking about. I'm not like Luke Thomas over here, nothing, but I mean, I don't think that's a secret anymore. David Zimmerman, I consider myself a conservative, but honestly, it's a one-party system. We all get robbed in the end. I mean, 100%. It's all predetermined. No matter how you're looking at it, from a government perspective or a universal perspective, what's going to happen is going to happen. The cards have already been dealt. I mean, Dana White Bazinga his wife on national internet, and then he goes and gets Bazinga'd by young Sheldon. The power slap is gone. At least it's not on TBS anymore. He got replaced by young Sheldon reruns. Just like that. And the slap of an eye. And the slap of a wife. Young Sheldon dominates the power slap league. Just like that, it's gone. He got Bazinga'd out of TBS. ESPN doesn't want nothing to do with it. And like I said, Dana White was 3 steps ahead. He knew where to go. He knew where to go. That fool said, let's get ready to rumble. David Koresh was the second coming of dead Jesus. Yeah, he thought he was, I guess. And then he tried to tell people, no, I didn't say that. I went deep with the Koresh thing. I've seen so many hours of footage. I was fascinated by that. I actually went to Waco. I went to the whole Ground Zero thing. I went to Texas this summer, and I went to Waco. It was trippy. You know the bus that they were in? Their little bunker? I touched the bus. It was crazy. The wacko from Waco. Libertarians unite. Bro, have you read the Bible? What does it say stuff about Dana White? Yes, I have. What are you getting at? I do a lot of reading. I like reading. I don't think he should lose it. I just don't want to see. I just don't see how he's going to promote it. Look, it depends on how you look at marriage. It 100. I mean, like, hear me out right now. Like, listen to what I'm saying, and then like take a beat, and then let me know what you think. Because there's always just like talking over each other, like just a bunch of noise. Tell me what you think right now. There's an old school way of thinking, an old fashioned way of thinking where like you're married, you're in this union, and you're like one, one flesh. Mine is yours is mine. We basically own each other. Today, how dare anybody say that? You got your own bank accounts, you got your own this and that, you got your phones locked, you got basically got your own separate lives. Boys night out, girls night out. I'll see you on Monday. It's very different. It's been a devolvement. But I think, I mean, let me know your perspective. There seemed to be an understanding for, I don't know, the first chunk of marriage. Because people are pointing out the fact that before Dana's wife slapped him, because that's a big talking point. Everyone said she slapped him first. You want equal rights, you get equal lefts. You throw the right, you get the right, or whatever it is, whatever. But people are pointing out he grabbed her wrist first. People are talking about that. So here's what I'm asking you right now. If you're married, if you're in this union, in your eyes, if there's a very heated moment, now they're out at a club, there's strangers around, they're in a strange country, they're not even in their, they don't even They're not even in the country they live in. I mean, they're far from home. Some club, who knows if they've ever been in, and they're inebriated, making the emotions raise even higher. If you're in a situation like this, now let me start the other way first, just to ease you into it. If you're in a situation like this and you're the wife, you guys are kind of annoyed with each other, you're upset, it's loud, you want to talk it out, your husband starts walking away. You're not trying to beat him or anything. You grab his wrist. You don't want him to leave. Hey, whoa, hold on, listen, come on. Look at it this way. You're grabbing him like, hey, whoa, no, let me say this though. Is that wrong? Is this person that you've been married to for 30 plus years off limits to say, wait a minute, husband, what are you doing? Hold up, we need to talk right now. Would that have been okay? And I have to start off with that because I know the type of culture that we live in. How dare the husband? This got to be a everybody loves Raymond type of husband, a pushover, the comic fall, the butt of the joke, Dudes aren't supposed to act like that. It's toxic. How dare you try to speak to your wife, if you consider the marital union, the joining of two, becoming one flesh and all that, and it's this sacred thing and the two are one and all. I mean, you're basically grabbing onto yourself. Some of you think what I just said sounds insane. And some of you are going, yeah, of course. Now, can the wife do that? The husband's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with you tonight. Can the wife go, wait, no. Hey, my husband, stop it. Okay. Can the husband, if the wife's doing the same thing, he's not grabbing her by the hair. He's not grabbing her by the lapels. He's holding on to her. I mean, look. I'm going to try not to make a blanket statement. Sometimes people get emotional and say things. And things get heated. Unfortunately, this is the perspective. The men are the aggressors and the ones that tend to be physical. Even though and let me know if I'm wrong, in my personal experience, viewing my homies' relationships and relatives and stuff like that, I'm always seeing dudes get hit. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm always seeing the homies get smacked and bit. Tell me if I'm wrong. So my assumption in this situation was she was probably heated and she probably did one of those mind ninja kind of things that said something that cut deep. He didn't yank her by the chongo or anything like that. He's just like, hey, whoa, hold on. I don't want you to disappear into this sea of dudes. I don't even know what they're saying. At midnight in this in Mexico. Like, hold up. His wife. Is that okay? Can you hold on to your spouse so they don't just dip mid-argument? Is that okay? That's what we got to establish first, because that's what a ton of people are pointing to instead of that she smacked them first. They're like, no, that don't count. He had a wrist. Can you grab your spouse's wrist when things are heated, you're inebriated, it's loud, you're in a foreign land, emotions are running high, and you're just like, hold up, don't leave, we got to handle this right now? Is that okay? Or are you held to the same standards as if they were some kind of stranger? You better not even touch them. I'll tell you right now, if I'm in a situation with Marilena and it's heated and it's loud and there's strangers around and I'm not in the country I live in and I'm trying to dip real quick and she grabs my wrist, she's like, what are you doing? I'm not going to get mad. It's not even going to occur to me to get mad. My first thought is going to be like, yeah, what am I doing? And if she tried to dip, I'm going to grab her like, what are you thinking? I'm going to lose you. This is dangerous. It's midnight. We're in Mexico. You're going to end up dancing somewhere in Puerto. They're going to take you across. Stay right here. Some people say that's a no-no. How dare you touch the person you've been married to for 30 years? We got a handbook. We got a manual. There's only certain ways you could touch them. Obviously, you don't want to throw a haymaker or anything like that. I mean, use some common sense here. but I'm trying to give an illustration. John Kleemeyer wearing my MMA hoodie, and I found a fellow truther. Hey, what's up? It's a little bit hot in here. It's a little bit hot in here. Usually I have the AC on, but it's hot right now. I don't know how you're feeling, but I'm burning up a little bit right now. Probably grabbed the wrist because he could sense she was going to get handsy, which women gives it away big time. Oh, yeah. They're not throwing from point of origin. You know, it's the John Wayne, you know? I mean, look, I'm not. Here's my position. I'm not pro beat your lady, you know? I'm not that. Some people could get it twisted. I'm not pro beat your lady, but I'm anti this type of culture where we're allowing his lady to do this and not say a word about it. I mean, someone just tell her like, hey, it's not cool for any spouse to smack their spouse in what am I saying? In public. Because I'm not trying to come out and say, Dana, you're a good dude. I wish we could all be like you. I wouldn't have smacked her. I wouldn't have done it. But I would also tell his wife if I saw her, like, hey, but don't smack him either, though. And I wouldn't even say it. And I know some of you would. And I wouldn't even say it like, don't even smack him because then he deserves to smack you. I wouldn't even say it like that. I would just be like, hey, spouse, if you got a spouse, don't hit your spouse. Just real general, you know? I feel like that's all that's necessary. Recon 4863, Dana's officially Power Slap's first champ. He might be the only one. It might be exclusively on Rumble. It's going to have to go behind the paywall. John Robot, Dana White versus Will Smith for Power Slap champ. I mean, maybe they're going to do it in the PFL. I saw the Jake Paul thing come out today. And look, this is like the worst timing for Dana White, but there's so many different ways you could approach it. When I streamed a couple days ago, I said, there's a reality in which maybe Dana White did this on purpose because he doesn't want to work with Disney, because he probably looks at them as people were saying in the chat earlier, the woke left. Dana White is completely not that. And he's probably tired of dealing with that. So I could definitely see him setting up a situation in where he doesn't have to breach his contract and quit, and he gets them to fire him. Then he could go do the power slap thing. But TBS was like, take that to Rumble. There's also, yeah, he's just a dummy, and he doesn't want to get fired by UFC. And now they're shutting it down. Right at the same time, PFL announces they're going to do celebrity. They're literally doing what I've been saying. Celebrity deathmatch. I've been joking about that ever since Jake Paul started fighting. I've been the one that's been saying that. I've been saying I want that fool to fight Oprah Winfrey. I want him to fight Dr. Phil. I like the freak show. I've been saying that. I want more. I've been saying it's like celebrity deathmatch. It is like everything we've ever wanted. And when you know what the UFC does? That like, and I know there's some diehards, there's some hardcores that could really get into one championship. They could really get into Bellator and stuff like that. But for the most part, the UFC thrives because they figured out through their marketing and promoting and all that, they figured out how to make their fighters like celebrities. And that's why we enjoy watching them. It's the drama that comes along with them, the backstories, the rivalries, the attitudes, all that kind of stuff. PFL was like, hold up. We're not interested in the business of trying to find some people that nobody knows and turn them into like minor celebrities. Let's bring celebrities in. Let's bring in Tom Cruise to fight Jake Paul. Apparently they got some kind of new like department or something, some kind of branch of PFL where it's going to straight up actually be celebrity fights. They're not going to have to put all the time and effort and elbow grease into making celebrities. They're going to pull them in. Jake Paul just signed a 2-fight contract. And I think verbally, Nate Diaz has already agreed to fight him. I think they're going to do 1 fight boxing, 1 fight MMA. I think Jake Paul's going to kill him. Nate, I don't know where Nate's going to go after that. I mean, look, Tyron Woodley could always say, if I would have fought him in MMA, I would have murdered that dude. But Nick Diaz? I mean, I always talk about how people talk about this Diaz boxing, which looks like this. I don't get it. I don't know who coined it. And look, I'm not trying to diss anybody. I know you're my people in here. I don't know if it's like the MMA community at large or what. They hear a thing and they run with it. They heard Dana White privilege. Not from me, of course. Man, that's all you hear about. There's always these little things that get thrown out. 60 G's, baby. Or like, that's kind of like the MMA community thrives on that kind of thing. The memes, one little line gets the Derek Lewis line, all these different things. Joe Rogan, he's hurt. All these different things. Like, we cling to those, I don't know who started the Diaz boxing thing, but Jake Paul's going to beat the lisp out of that fool. I'm telling you. And the grappling, I'm not even worried about that. MMA, we're talking about Ohio State wrestler. We're not talking about like Maine or anything like that. We're not talking about like South Dakota wrestling. We're talking about Ohio. Jake Paul's going to murder that fool. And it's all bad for the UFC right now. Fools are going to be migrating. It's going to be like the grapes of wrath over here. Everyone trying to get in the PFL. And somebody tweeted. I want to give him a shout out if I can find him right now. Somebody tweeted at me about doing some commentary for the PFL, Peter Parker Kev. And I told PFL, hey, give me the contract. Let's do it. David Zimmerman, Dana and his wife should throw down in the octagon and get it over with. They will make a huge amount of money. And you can get Simon Samana crying over here. I'm watching it, though. I wonder if they're all arguing at home right now. Like, why'd you slap me, you idiot? Or if they're laughing it off. Maybe it was all a ruse. We're over here like dummies creating buzz for him. Waz Conroy. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? They should just bring back the rule of thumb. What's the rule of thumb? Is that a real thing? I always thought that was just like a figure, but what's like the actual rule of thumb? Approximate method for doing something based on practical experience rather than theory. A rule of thumb is a heuristic guideline that provides simplified advice or some basic rule set regarding a particular subject or course of action. It's a general principle that gives practical instructions for accomplishing or approaching a certain. I mean, it sounds straightforward. I don't know where we're talking about applying it, but I like it. Dana should have gone for the submission. I want to see what you guys were saying about what I was asking earlier before I miss it. How do you feel about the fact that she didn't hesitate to slap him? Look, this is like a thing. This is a thing that like males deal with, that it's like they never get an opportunity to address, I'm gonna make a blanket statement right now, okay? I'm gonna make a somewhat blanket statement. Females are emotional beings, and that's a beautiful thing that comes in very handy in most aspects of life. Men tend to be, I mean, I know I'm told this all the time. I've been told that I tend to be emotionally unavailable, somewhat stoic, somewhat detached, and that's not a good thing. And I'm saying this because I know some people might hear me say that women are emotional creatures and think that I'm like belittling them or something. No, It's a wonderful thing to have emotions. Call me old school, but I think men and women are built certain ways with their own sets of strengths, and they complement each other perfectly, like a puzzle piece, coming together. And I think the kind of situation that Dana got caught up in, because someone said right here, how do you feel about the fact she didn't hesitate to slap him? And someone said earlier that fool knew she was gonna slap him. That's why he started grabbing at her wrist. There's a sense in which men are always kind of on the defensive in situations like this because of the perspective of the culture. Well, you're gonna get hit. You better try to cover up. And that's the kind of abuse that you're gonna have to be willing to take. I saw some video earlier today on Twitter of some dude and some lady who almost like yanked all his braids out at like a Dollar Tree or something like that. She yanked that fool all over the whole store, and people were just standing around watching, didn't do nothing. Fool was like start like bleeding from his head, and then the moment like he couldn't take the pain anymore, he started to grab back. Fools jumped in. How dare you put your hands on her? It's like, well, you expect me to get murdered right now or what? Like, how far does this go? I mean, who's the ultimate victim? It's like hypothetically the woman's the victim because she's weaker, but the man is the perpetual victim because he could never defend himself. So it's like, even though you're stronger, you better stand there and get beat up, fool. You better stand there and take the beating. I'm not saying you should beat her, but it's not cool to just say stand there and take a beating either. Like, where do we come together in the middle? Where do we shake hands and agree on a compromise? Oh, she slapped him hard. Doesn't he have that inner ear condition? Dang, that's another thing to consider right there. The fact that she knows that like, what a diss right there to him. That's like deep right there. See, Weedy Gonzalez said, bro, would you hit your mother when she smacks you? Your sister? I'm not saying Dana White should have hit her. I already said earlier, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have hit her. But she shouldn't have hit him. My biggest annoyance with this whole thing is no one's saying you shouldn't have hit him. People immediately want to virtue signal and white horse and all that and act like that means I'm saying something I'm not. He shouldn't have hit her. I wouldn't have hit her. But she shouldn't have hit him. And I'm okay with getting into the conversation of the double standards and how people saying that men shouldn't hit women are inconsistent. Especially because of the fact that we don't even know if Dana White's wife is a woman. Let's make up our minds. David Zimmerman, Dana and his wife should just throw down. Oh, I already read that. How did I get way back there? Dana just messed up, plain and simple. I mean, can't we all say that? Look at it from this perspective. Like, do I think Dana messed up? Yeah, and here's why. Because we already all know how society as a whole feels about this. We know how the majority feels about this and what they're going to do to him. So he should have known that beforehand. Hey, she just smacked the heck out of my face in front of all these people and disrespected me. Everyone's talking about the mother of your kids. You smacked him. He's the father of your kids. Why'd you smack him? So he could have got smacked and been like, man, that's messed up. I'm just going to walk away from this and let you look like a punk on video and let everybody see that my wife is dumb and she's mean and she hits me. He could have done that. And he could have kept his UFC career safe. He could have kept his power league slap thing intact. And then she would have like Jada and everyone would think that she's dumb. And I'm not giving him an excuse. Don't you dare think this is an excuse, but they were heavily inebriated. I always have the same response, whether I'm talking to one of the homies, whether I'm talking to a relative, whether someone, I see something online and they're like, oh, the homie got stabbed. And I'm like, oh, snap, what happened? Oh, yeah, he was out. You know, he had like 12 beers and he was at the party and they went driving. I'm like, fool, what kind of outcome do you think you're going to have putting yourself in that situation? You should have been with your lady watching Wheel of Fortune. Oh, man, the homie, like, man, he got shot the other day. Oh, man, what happened to him? Well, he got drunk and he tried to rob an old lady and he didn't know she had a gun. Fool, you shouldn't have been trying to rob old ladies. I mean, it's enough of just trying to throw your hands up and say you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Why didn't you think about it beforehand? You're a 50-something-year-old dude getting all messed up in public on New Year's. Like, you can't think of something more mature to do? Marloca, member for 16 months. Hey, that's... Good evening, y'all. Nice to see you here, Marloca. Always. I appreciate you. UFC will never fire him as much as I don't like Dana White for the past 20 years. Well, see, it's Disney. I will be shocked if Disney doesn't get rid of him. Disney obviously has a certain kind of thing they're trying to put out there, and a dude smacking his lady isn't it. I will be shocked if Disney, I know I could see ESPN trying to back him or UFC, Endeavor, but Disney, if Disney's the final say, he's done. Jake Paul versus Will Smith. Only slapping? What if Dana White puts the slapping on OnlyFans? Only slaps. Dana shouldn't be fired, but they need to go to counseling or just break up. Here's my thing. Look. Let's say I'm a plumber. All right? I'm a decent plumber. I'm pretty good. And me and Marilena get into alteration. All right? We're at a birthday party at the park and everything from everybody. And she just smacks me across. She smacks me across the face for whatever reason. And because of years of training and reflections and whatnot, I smack her back. Let's say I smack her back. I smack her real good, you know? Should I not be allowed to be a plumber anymore? I think when we look at someone with a job that we look at somewhat prestigious and he's like super rich and we want what he has, it's like, man, that fool should lose everything. He has too much. But I mean, look at it this way. If I'm a plumber and Marilena smacks me across the face, like, what the heck? I smack her back. Should I have to never be allowed to be a plumber ever again? Does that apply everywhere? When you do something wrong, you can't ever again. Or is it only with famous people? I don't know if people ever really think this out. Why are you okay with saying Will Smith should like never work again or never don't ever go watch his movies again, take his stuff off Netflix and everything? Why are you okay with that? With your pitchforks and everything? What if Will Smith was a construction worker and he smacked Chris Rock? Oh man, he should never build a house ever again. How does that make any sense? So then he can't even make a living and now his relationship's even worse? I guess we're talking about Dana White. Not only did she smack him and he smacked her, Now he can't even provide a living. Now she's homeless. If you really care about the wife, don't you want her to have a home? John Kleemeyer, Jesse, the prelims are better in the UFC and random leagues are better than main card UFC because everyone just fights not to lose. That's a perfect way to sum that up because everyone just fights not to lose. Absolutely. And I always bring that up like the NBA. That's why a lot of people prefer watching like college basketball. Because yeah, everyone's just trying to play it too safe when you get higher up there. There's like too much respect and stuff like that. People try not to lose face and stuff. Ronaldo Gomez, saludos from Bakersfield, Grandmaster Charlie. Hey, Bakersfield. What's up, Ronaldo? Every time I go through Bakersfield, I'm not even gonna lie. If I'm wrong, Ronaldo, I'm not even trying to disrespect, but I can always tell when I'm in Bakersfield because it has like a certain scent. It smells a certain way, you know. As soon as I hit it, I can always tell. I don't know what it is. I hit my ex-girlfriend hard when she stabbed me. I'm not gonna lie. You see, there's gonna be some people in the chat like, "Fool, how dare you?" Yeah, she stabbed you, but was she even a threat? I've been smacked by my wife multiple times. I probably deserved it half the time, but my reaction never changes. I let her take out her aggression on me. I never take my aggressions on her. See, look, look, I'm gonna say something, and here's the only reason I'm gonna say it. Because me and Marilena have been together since we were teenagers, all right? For a long, long time. This is the only reason I'm okay saying this, because we were kids when we got together, all right? I might have done something to catch a hand or two from Marilena, all right? But it didn't even occur to me to retaliate because in my head I'm like, it's like hitting a baby, you know, like that's not gonna do nothing for me. What's it gonna do? Make me feel like a big man, you know? And to be very honest, there's something about it, and you dudes in the chat, you know this. There's something about it when that happens to you and you don't do nothing back, that's even more of a diss to her. It's like, well, I'm not even gonna give you the satisfaction. You know, there's that element too. So the thing with someone like Dana White. So look, again, it's not an excuse. You already know my stance on alcohol. I'm not an alcohol dude. I don't like the stuff. But he was on it, and it makes you stupid. So he was in a stupid mindset. And that's why he did what he did for the most part, as far as we know. But in my beanie, the kind of dude that gets smacked and smacks back is a dude that feels insecure. A dude that feels like he really, really, really has to prove something. So yeah, I mean, I know there's dudes that got smacked here in the chat that didn't do nothing back. And so you see what Dana did, and you're like, that's stupid. Because I got hit and I didn't hit. I know, me neither. So we could either completely just blame it on his stupid mindset because he was all pedo, or the fact that he's an insecure dude, or both. David Cantu, Dana, he's all stocked in. He's trying to rep the Stockton. That fool's a man without a country right now. I'm telling you, that fool's been repressing since he got smacked by Nate. It finally came back out. Strange one. Well said. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. The few and the proud. She's not a victim. No man should just take a woman hitting them. There are other ways to defend yourself. And I don't think that needed a defense. I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes I think in the day and age that we live in, if you're too equal, then you're sexist all of a sudden. Because like I said earlier, if I'm in a heated argument or situation with Marilena and I try to dip and she grabs my wrist, I'm gonna understand. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have been walking away. What am I doing? She really wants me to stay here and resolve this. And if she tries to dip, I'm not even gonna hesitate. I'm gonna grab her wrist. I'm gonna be like, what are you doing? We're not like, especially in that situation. We're in Kabul right now. It's late. There's a bunch of crazy, we don't even know these people. Where are you going? And I'm not even gonna think twice about it. Because in my old-fashioned mindset, we're married, we're in this union, we're one. Your wrist is my wrist. My wrist is your wrist. If you grab my wrist first, I'm not gonna slap you. If I grab your wrist, I'm assuming you're not gonna slap me. Don't just stand there getting hit though. Do people not know how to handle business? That's funny. It says The Godfather. When this thing came up, it was reminding me of when Fredo's wife was acting all crazy and Corleone was like, hey, go handle that. He wasn't telling them to like go sock her in the face or anything, but like she was all messed up. Didn't this fool say he used to box? Couldn't you just box and cover up? Block and cover up? I'm assuming it was because his reflexes were all off because he was drunk or whatever. That's my guess. I don't know. Oh. What is a woman? That's what I'm saying. Let's make up our minds. Let's make up our minds. I saw somebody earlier in some comment say, "Oh, look at all these dudes thinking that equality means that guys should be wife beaters." It's not about that. It's this relativism that's just polluting people's minds though, because they're so hard on one talking point, so gung-ho, just 100% on this, but the moment it's not convenient anymore, they just do a complete 180, and then it's just like nothing you say could be taken serious anymore. Okay, I keep seeing a bunch of chat about how I'm just way behind, so let me just try to catch up a little bit. um Billy the Kidder says the worst smelling town in America. Manure smell. Hey, Michael Jr. 8, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad you made it. I usually don't stream this late. McFarlane, yeah, stinks over there. That's why those fools started running. That's where it all originated. um, oh yeah, Merle Haggard, doesn't he have like a restaurant or something? Most men live their lives in quiet desperation. Hey, no one has ever put it better. Um, W. Adams, do you think about 8 Ball Jacket Guy is a male hero? Who's 8 Ball Jacket Guy? What are you talking about? The first person I thought of when you said that is David Puddy. Are you talking about the dude from Seinfeld? If so, I don't know. He was kind of a pushover with the lane a little bit, but he was real funny. Let me try to catch up. I'm way behind. I'm like disgustingly behind. Zen Martial Arts. Hey, martial artists, thank you for joining the membership. Don't forget to scope the membership tab. I just put out a new behind the scenes video earlier, and the Discord link and everything's in there. We should all be thankful that we didn't pay for Dana's first slap pay-per-view. I don't even, we wouldn't have even had to pay for it though, right? Because it was going to be on TBS, I think. Viciously delicious, like right now. Like right now. 8 Ball Jacket Guy is a dude on the subway. What the heck? I never heard of that guy. 8 Ball Jacket Guy slapped a woman on the subway. What? I missed that one. If anybody cares, can someone like tweet me the link or something? So look, this is a very blurry situation. Here's the tricky thing. Miguel Valencia, GM, you should set up a mass text service where we subscribe and you notify us via text when you're going live, because YouTube is, well, YouTube. I would, thank you. I would like to do something like that. I actually thought of doing like, I don't know if you guys ever heard of MailChimp, like a email thing before, but it's like, then I know, I mean, it sounds good, but then I know at some point people will get annoyed, because let's say there's times when I feel like going live every day, just looking at what's going on in the MMA world and be like, man, it'd be fun to just go back and forth about this a little bit. But I know some people, then it becomes oversaturated. I don't want to annoy anybody, so I don't know. I don't know. I was also thinking of going live, because I would like to go. I would like to go live like once a day. That would be fun, just to talk about what's happening that day. And I was thinking, so I don't kill all my analytics, and so only the people who really want to see will be there. I was thinking, nah, I don't know. I was thinking of doing it like only. I know this sounds messed up, but I was thinking of doing it like either on the Patreon or on the YouTube membership, and then putting clips live, because I think the majority of people don't want me to stream every day. They want the edited videos, and I'm just going to kill my channel if I stream every day. So I don't know. If I could stream every day and a good amount of people would show up, that would be cool. But a lot of the time, it seems like I'm just like, I even see comments. People will be like, "Oh, you're just streaming? All right, I'll come back when you edit videos." And it's like, okay, well, I'm just hurting myself then. It would only cost $1. My lowest things are only $1 on Patreon and on the YouTube membership. And the all the levels are the same. I'm just trying to let anyone get in there however they want. Um, I'd like to try to go live at this time every day. If like the kids like aren't needing stuff and I'm not like missing anything. Thank you, John Kleemeyer. Thank you. It's just exhausting trying to get them out the way I like to do them. Like I try to put a lot of effort into them, so they take a long time. I appreciate you. Appreciate seeing you here when you can make it, Axelmar. Yeah, I have fun in the streams. I mean, the streams are. It's a completely. I understand people like the edited videos, but there's an element to the streams that you could never get with the edited videos. Just the real time, you know, just the realness of things. The rawness, being able to go back and forth and talk in the moment. Like it's a whole different thing. But some people just aren't for it. Um, yeah, Hamza, that's how I feel. I guess, yeah. And I guess for some people, they just don't want that product. Viciously delicious. Somewhere, if you're on a phone, I think it should be somewhere below the video you see of me. It should say join, and then you could join for just $1 a month, and then you can have full access to our Discord, to any behind the scenes bloopers videos I upload. Sometimes I do commentary over old videos and different things. So look, if I'm just gonna try to put a cap on this, maybe I'm a square, but I don't really think that Dana White and his wife are. I mean, maybe it sounds judgmental to me, but all I can give you is my opinion, you know? And no matter what kind of opinion I give, it's gonna sound biased one way or the other. And personally, I feel like I don't know why Dana and White feel like they're at a place in their life where they got to go get so publicly intoxicated, you know, the high profile type of people they are and at their age. So that was the first thing. You know, there's a lot on the line. You got a lot of things riding on your name. You got kids and stuff. Like there's things that you give up when you reach certain levels of fame and certain places in your life. You know, there's trade-offs. So first of all, they put themselves in that position. And then you got to decide. You have to answer, if you're a married person, do you think that if a husband is trying to walk away from a conversation and the wife really wants him to stay there, do you think she shouldn't be allowed to hold his wrist? Is that horrible? Is she a monster? Is that off limits to grab your own husband of 30 years? Can you not touch him in that way? And if you're a husband and your wife's trying to walk off, are you able to reach for her wrist? You have to decide that for yourself. Some people will say, no, how dare you? They need to be able to just dip whenever and detach and leave the conversation, and you'll live in quiet desperation. You have to decide if that's off limits or not. Then you have to decide, is it okay that she hit him? Is it okay that she hit him because he's bigger and stronger? Then you have to decide, should he have had the right to hit her back? Not should he have hit her back. Should he have had the right to? Because of what culture puts in your face. Because of what culture says about equality and about self-defense and about, we don't even know if Dana or his wife is a woman. So we're a bunch of bigots right now assuming things. Vera Placencio, I don't. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like I said, I definitely wouldn't have done what he did. And there's other men in the chat here that said, "Yeah, my lady hit me, and I didn't hit her back." So yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. And I'm not out here advocating, yeah, Dana hit her. But I am saying, hey, lady, don't hit him either. And again, I want to clarify, I'm not saying it in the way of, hey, lady, don't hit him because then he could hit you. I'm just saying, hey, just don't hit. Just don't hit. And I'll say this too. If you're a woman that feels completely entitled to smack your husband across the face, just because you know that you could throw it back in his face, hey, you can't hit me. Wow. What an animal. That's dirty right there. Is what you're saying correct, Vera? I think, well. I want to say I agree, but then I'm thinking of that video I saw the other day where that lady was dragging that dude all through the Dollar Tree by his dreadlocks and almost ripped him out of his head. It's like, well, what's he gonna do? Just lay there and die? But I think, you know, within the context you're talking of, yes. But so yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, I'm saying if there's a woman who's like, yeah, I'm gonna smack my husband of 30 plus years across the face, and there ain't a single thing he could do about it. That's disgusting. Come on. Do you see Hawani's response? I've always thought it was super gross how Dana treated Ariel. He's annoying, but you could tell he's got good character. Yeah, that was a low blow. That was a low blow when Dana brought that up years ago about the kids. It's like he's really trying to get in his head, obviously. It was gross. The moment he started talking about his kids like that, it just didn't feel right. It was the perfect response. It was the perfect response from Hawani saying, like, now how are your kids gonna feel? It's just, that's unfortunate. That's got to be quite an ugly visual seeing that of your own parents. Hey, what's up, Street Beef Scrapyard in the chat? The Dagestani handcuffs. This is why my generation is all messed up, because of mixed signaling. It's absolutely mixed signaling. Absolutely. If Dana White's wife wanted to get in the cage and fight Francis Ngannou, she's beautiful and she's brave, and you better let her. But Dana retaliates, and now he's off TBS. What are we doing? Kaimon plot twist, Dana likes slapping in a different way. I'm not surprised. My mother taught me if she's man enough to hit you, she's man enough to get hit back. That's old school right there. Appears they have a toxic relationship. Alcohol had a hand. Absolutely. Oh, Dana doesn't want the divorce because she's going to take half the stuff. Dang it. Equal lefts, equal rights. That Street Beef Scrapyard. Couldn't have put it better. All right. I mean, I took like an hour and 20 minutes to give you that one little thing I thought was very interesting. We saw what we thought was the best promo ever for the Slap League. And just like that, it backfired, and it's going to be off TBS now. Dana White Bazinga'd his lady, and then he got Bazinga'd by Young Sheldon. Young Sheldon reruns instead of the slap fight. So that's it. It's probably going to be exclusive on Rumble. I don't know where else we're going to be able to find it. But I think it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting that, I mean, she probably doesn't. Does she work? I was gonna say, is she gonna lose her job because she slapped him too? Every job equals every slap equals a lost job. I don't know how we playing this. I don't know. Oh, I'm not. I don't know. We're not. I don't know if that's directed at what I'm saying, but I'm not feeling sorry for Dana. If I'm feeling sorry for anything, I'm feeling sorry for um consistency, logic. Dana has always been a piece of blah, and he deserves this. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, someone's just eager to just tear down every single little thing because, like, I'm not saying Dana's a great guy. I'm always on here talking about how that fool's dirty. He's a dirty vato. He needs to pay people. He does this and that, all sketchy. But I don't care who it is. Let's just say it's a hypothetical dude, and he has like a gigantic business, and he's starting another business, and then he breaks the law or does something bad or something that we don't like. Okay, fine him. If he did something illegal, arrest him. I'm all for it. We need laws. We don't need anarchy. If somebody violated something and there's a percussion, a consequence, good. But that doesn't mean take their livelihood. I don't know when or how this started, where they're like, no more job for you, no more job for you, no more income for you. What the heck? What is that? That's ridiculous. Young Fatty, can we please get more every UFC fight ever videos? So look, I'm gonna stop talking about Dana White, and I'm gonna say it like this. Yes, I'm working on one right now, but it's taking forever. Because I have to do side jobs to pay the bills. Right before this stream, I went on one of my deliveries. I'm like an Instacart driver for Walmart. I haul groceries, and I had to go way out into the country. And my GPS took me to this one house, and they ordered 59 things. I had a bunch of bags. I parked the car, and I'm like scanning their yard, and it's way out in the country, and I have to walk through like a swamp. I thought a snake was gonna like jump out at me or something. I ended up parking on the wrong side of their property. I guess they had like a driveway that I didn't see in the dark. They didn't have any good lights out there. So I parked the car, and I would have had to, like, it would have been really annoying to go around. So I just was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to cut across all this swamp looking high grass and mud. And I'm glad I caught some kind of reflection of the moon or something like that. There was some light on the ground, and apparently I almost walked into a canal. So where I live, I don't know if it's like that where you guys live. Out here where I live, and all these farmlands and stuff like that, there's a bunch of canals. Especially, I mean, out in the country, there's canals like every 50 yards or something like that. I almost walked right into a canal. And then I had to use my phone light. And there was this little like 2.5 foot wide thing of like concrete that was served as like a little bridge over the canal. And I walked on it all carefully. I had to make 3 trips because they ordered so many things from the car back over there. Finally, I was done. I rang the doorbell. I was going to get back into the car. And then I hear the door open. Someone was like, oh, hello? And I was like, oh yeah, there's your delivery. And he's like, oh, what? Where's this from? And I was like, from Walmart. You ordered stuff, right? And he's like, no. And then, I don't know, for some reason, I basically asked him the same question, reworded, and I was like, didn't order this stuff from Walmart?" Slowly, like dying inside, and then he said no. And I said, "Is this?" And I said the address, and he said no. And I said, again, I basically asked him the same question again. And he said no. And then he asked the name for the order. And I told him, he goes, "Oh, that's my son." He says he lives at that house over there. And I was like, "Oh, like at least it's close." And he's like, "It's technically the same property, but that's his house over there." And he's like, "Let me help you. I'll help you carry the groceries over." And I was like, "Man, I'm going to lose my tip." Now I have this. Not only did I go to the wrong house, now it's going to be later. And now I got the dude's dad helping me. This looks all bad. They're not going to tip me. So he takes off, putting his shoes on. And his wife comes out. She's like, "What's this? And I'm like, no. She thinks they just won the lottery or something. I'm bringing them free food. And I'm like, "No, it's a misunderstanding." So he goes over. He has to walk with me because he says they got like 5 guard dogs and they're going to attack me if he's not with me. So he has to keep shooing them off the whole time. We're walking through mud, destroying my shoes. We get there and look. Look, this is a family-friendly show. One of the things that I noticed was in the bag was it was a form of male birth control. Okay, so now this dude's dad is helping me carry his bags to his house. And that's in one of the bags. And the whole time I'm thinking, I was trying to grab as many bags as I could. I was like, I hope he doesn't grab that one. And then he's going to be like, "Hey." And then I was like, his son's going to get so mad at me. He's not going to tip me. And I mean, he's a grown man. The son was like, I don't know, probably like same age as me or whatever, but it's still uncomfortable, you know? It was terrible. That was all my way of saying, but I'm doing like, you know, I'm moonlighting right now. So it's slowing me down. I heard that he slapped his wife due to a misunderstanding. She said she wanted the John Jones treatment, but man wanted some sort of Bruce Lee candy. That Bruce Lee nose candy. He thought she meant a domestic high five. I never heard it put that way. Young Fatty, what's up? Young Fatty, looking good these days. What do you think of Jake Paul going to MMA? I love it. To a new league. I think he's going to bring some life to another branch of the MMA world, and I think it's going to be good for the sport. As the UFC is on fire, some new talent is emerging, skipping amateur MMA, going right to pro. Is he going to get torn up on Toon ground? Is he going to get torn up? I think he's going to murder Nate Diaz. I think that Nate Diaz boxing is something that someone coined a long time ago when they were trying to find something colorful to say during the commentary, and it's non-existent. And I think Jake Paul's going to box the lisp out of that fool. And I think that Ohio State wrestling is just going to negate that guard pulling that Nate Diaz is going to try to do. I think it's beautiful. Weedy Gonzalez, thank you for joining the membership. Don't forget to scope the membership tab. I love you, Michael. The homie. It's bad, man. Yo, what's up? It's on Unique 209. I haven't seen you in a while. Marloca. for real. Like I got into the car. I just was like, if I was a different man, I would have started crying. I closed that door and I was like, what is my life? Um, what do you think about Raul Rosas Jr.? I think he's like this close to being really annoying, but just not annoying enough to be entertaining. I like that fool. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up right now because Marilena's waiting for me, and I don't want her to smack me. I don't want her to smack me because if I lose it and I smack her back, then I'm not gonna be able to deliver Walmart groceries anymore. Because that's what happens when you smack people. You lose your livelihood. So I'm gonna try to go right now to prevent any type of alteration. I appreciate you all here. If you haven't seen my most recent shorts or videos, please go scope them out. A lot of people don't even know that I've been uploading. I uploaded like 3 videos today, I think. Don't forget to go check it out. Thank you for watching Mexican Martial Arts. Appreciate it. Good looking out. Late.